There's a story told about a group of friends who went exploring in a coal mine and they had found a miner to take them kind of like on a tour of the coal mine. Well, the group of friends show up and this girl who really she hadn't been there long, they didn't know her that well, shows up and she's wearing a white dress. And so obviously all of them start to give her a hard time. Like, why are you going to wear a white dress down into the mine? And she's trying to defend herself, and she looks at the miner and says, am I not allowed to wear this down in the mine? And then the miner said, there's nothing that's going to stop you from wearing that white dress down in the mine, but there are considerable things that will keep you from wearing it back up. And what he was saying was, obviously when she comes out the other side, when she comes back up, that dress is no longer going to be white. We have a lot of teenagers who try and defend their white testimony and saying, I can take this and I can go into these places, I can hang out with these people, I can do all these things, but not understanding that when they come back out, their testimony is marred. It's dirty because of the places that they've been, because of the people that they have hung out with. And so Proverbs 14 gives us a little bit of a description about this. And Amos 3:3 says, can two walk together except they be agreed? So here's the thing, as we look at friendship over the next couple weeks in our Better Than One series, and you look around at your friends and you see things like, man, they shouldn't do that, they shouldn't do that, they shouldn't do that, they shouldn't do that. And you think to yourself, I don't know how I ever became friends with them. Well, think to yourself, can two walk together except they be agreed? If you've had a long-term friendship with someone who is not following Christ, it's because it's not in your heart to follow Christ. Not saying you're not saved, but it's not in your heart to do what's right. And that's why you've been able to get along with them so easily, is for that reason. So Proverbs 14, it's verse 7 and through verse 9. It says, go from the presence of a foolish man when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge. So in other words, when you're hanging out with your friend and you're finding out they're just full, their lips just spread foolish things, it says, go from the presence, leave, don't hang out with that person anymore. It says, the wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. So the prudent man or the wise man looks around and studies where he's going. He knows where he's going to be putting his testimony at. He doesn't just walk into something blindly. But the fool, they lie to themselves. Oh, it's no big deal. So the folly of fools is deceit. But then he goes on to say, fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor. If you hang out with people who mock sin, not make fun of sin, but make like light of sin, you know what I'm saying? Where it's not that big of a deal if you're sinning, if you're doing something you know is wrong. That is a foolish person. And again, I refer you back to Amos 3:3. Can two walk together except they be agreed? So as you look at your friendships, as we go through this series about Better Than One, no one is telling you not to have any friends. What we're telling you, what I'm encouraging you to do, is to leave foolish friends and to find wise friends. And that may lead with you going, I'm having a whole directional shift in my friends. I don't have the same ones I had before because I hung out with foolish friends and I know I can't do that anymore. Don't get your, if I can say it this way, your white dress tainted with all the different things that would be down in the coal mine. Don't do that. Keep it pure and keep your testimony for the Lord's sake by finding wise friends.